Welcome back, everybody. My name is Dave Hayes and this is Hayes Tech. This is the channel where we talk about pretty much anything tech, and I mean anything tech. If any of you watched my last couple videos, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I found a really nice deal on eBay for an action camera. It's used but in new condition. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with what an action camera is, it's one of these right here. This is my cheap Dragon Touch. Now, I've done a video on this in the past, and I'm actually quite partial to this action camera. For what it costs, this is a freaking nice action camera. But the camera we're talking about is not going to be on that. At least not today. Today, we are going to talk about the GoPro Hero 7 Black. And this is used. It's the only way I could afford to get it. So don't go away. When we come back, we're going to talk about the GoPro Hero 7 Black. Man, is that a mouthful. And as always, remember to like, share, and subscribe. You hit that notification icon to get a notification of my videos as soon as they're released. That way you don't miss any of them. I actually had some ideas on some other videos that I really wanted to do. The only problem is the weather up here in central Pennsylvania really sucks lately. It's been cloudy, dim, dull. I mean, it just sucks. It sucks the life right out of you, man. At least that's what it feels like. And I figured now would be a good time for me to do a review on this camera. So whenever you go to open one of these boxes, if you just go to the bottom, there's a little tab that you just rip off. It's like a zipper almost on the bottom. Again, this has already been opened. Again, I opened it up. They had it all taped up. I opened it so I could charge up the battery in it because I wanted to be able to show it for the video, and I didn't want to have to wait for the battery to charge. So there it goes. And then it will just slide right out like that. It actually comes in a little box, like it's a little flip open box. You open it up and you can go inside here, and this is going to be where you have your battery. It'll come with it looks like a little semicircular mount here, and then a flat mount. This was where the cord went, the charging cord and the battery. Now, this is the charging cord that came with it. It's white, USB Type-C, which is nice. They started out with the GoPro Hero 5, and they kept going with it, which I think is great. I love USB Type-C. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and finish taking this off, and basically all you do is it's one of those where you got to pinch the back and push it through. So you pinch it and push like that, just like that. See? And I suppose you could actually use this as well. You could cut this off the box, or just, use the box and use this to set it on the table as like a stand to record yourself, like if you were doing a vlog like this. This is just a standard GoPro mount where, if you loosen this thing right here, you can adjust it. It's adjustable like that. See, just like that. And to take this out, all you do is flip up this little tab right here, like that, unhook it, flip it back down, and then I have to use my thumbs and push it out, because you got to push it out kind of square. Oh, and by the way, for those of you that don't know, the GoPro Hero 8 was just released, and no, I will not be getting a GoPro Hero 8. I actually thought about going all in and spending the $400 because I could have got a trade-in with my GoPro Hero 5, and I think I could have got like $100 off. But there are things about the GoPro Hero 8 that just makes me not want to buy the camera. I'm not going to. I'm not going to get it. The biggest reason is you can't replace the lens anymore. Why they decided to do that is just stupid. I don't get it. Well, I know why, because these are action cameras. This is going to be the first thing to break. And they don't want you to just go out and have to spend, 30, maybe $40 on a lens replacement and be done with it. They would rather you purchase another camera from them, or they want you to buy into their protection plan, where if you do break that screen, it's covered and they'll replace it, which I think is bullshit. So GoPro, you're going in the wrong direction. Go back to this. This was awesome, and everybody out there is saying the same thing I'm saying. Now, as far as size goes, this is the 7 here, and this is my 5 here, and they are identical. So all cases and everything will work. It just, interchangeable. I haven't found anything about this camera, about the new camera, that is any different from the old camera, except for the fact that they have on the side right here 7. It says black on top. It says black 7, and on the GoPro Hero 5 Black, there's nothing on there to identify it from any of the other cameras. And if I remember correctly, the 6 doesn't have anything on it neither. So anyways, that's my 5. We're not talking about the 5. We were talking about the GoPro Hero 7. And that is right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set this up on a mount. And then we're going to get some close-ups of this, and I'll probably power it up, let you guys see what the screen looks like. We'll go through some of the settings on it. I'm not going to go through all the settings. There are videos out there that will take you through all the settings, how to properly set this camera up. I'm just here to show you the camera and to show you the video quality I got from it, compare it to, say, my GoPro Hero 5, and maybe we'll even throw some Dragon Touch video in there to compare all 3 of them. That way, if you guys are interested in purchasing an action camera, hopefully this video will give you guys a little bit of help in choosing, whichever one you're going to get. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at the GoPro Hero 7 Black. Okay, this is a vlogging test of the GoPro Hero 7 Black. And I'm going to do all the tests with no microphones. I'm going to use the inbuilt microphone. I do have the GoPro in its housing that the camera comes with. So if any of the microphones are going to get blocked, it's going to get blocked because of the case that it's in, the one that comes, from the store when you buy it, okay? And this GoPro's got a hell of a challenge ahead of it, because with my balance issue and me not being able to feel my right side at all, I do not walk as steady as I could, or would like to, I should say. But this is going to give you an idea. Now, another thing I want to bring up, this test is going to be equal through all 3 cameras. I'm going to pit this camera against the GoPro Hero 5 Black, and I'm also going to put my cheap Dragon Touch camera on here to let you guys see what the difference is between this high-end camera and a cheap low-end budget camera that you can get off of eBay for about 40 bucks. This is image quality and stabilization that you can expect off of the GoPro Hero 7 Black. And the weather condition outside is not very good at all. One thing that I've learned about this camera is for you to have that really buttery smooth image stabilization, it's got to be nice and sunny out. But I have learned how to get the image stabilization to work on this with shitty weather, and that is you have to have your ISO set minimum 100, maximum 1600. That will pretty much give you back your image stabilization. We are also shooting at 2K instead of 4K and 60 frames per second, and that's another thing you have to shoot at in order to get the stabilization to look right in low light like this. Is you do have to shoot in 60 frames per second, and you do have to have your shooting mode in 2K, just letting you know. All right, let's go see what the GoPro Hero 5 Black looks like pitted against this one, which is the GoPro Hero 7 Black. Okay, I am now recording on the GoPro Hero Black. Again, I have it in the very same rig as I had the GoPro Hero 7 in, and it is just being held in place by the GoPro plastic camera housing, okay? Not a waterproof housing, because the cameras are waterproof. So the audio, what you're hearing now is the audio from the GoPro itself. The same with the GoPro Hero 7. I am not using an external mic. This is what the image stabilization looks like on the GoPro Hero 5 Black. I do have it set to the same recording as the GoPro Hero 7 Black, which is, I keep wanting to say 2.7K, but it's 2K. It's not 4K. I have it set to 2K at 60 frames per second. So I know that image stabilization works with this at 2K at 60 frames per second, and that's what we have this one set at. Now, I do know that the image stabilization works no matter what the lighting conditions on the GoPro Hero 5. Now on the GoPro Hero 7, if it starts to get dark out like this, you have to change your ISO in order to make sure you get nice smooth footage. But with the GoPro Hero 5, you turn your image stabilization on or you turn it off. It's that simple. It's either on or off. And when it's on, it works. Is it as smooth as the GoPro Hero 7 Black? Absolutely not. But now, what do you say we go ahead and put the real cheap $40 Dragon Touch action camera on this? I did a video on that a while ago. I'm going to have to update that video. But we're going to throw that one on now, let you guys see the difference between image quality and sound quality and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and get that Dragon Touch. Okay, we are now shooting on the Dragon Touch 4K Ultra HD. I did a video on this camera about a year ago. I think it was about a year ago. I did a couple videos on it, comparison videos, and I did a really in-depth video on this camera. And for cheap action cameras, I really like this camera. I gave it high praises back then, and I still give it high praises today. If you are in the budget for an action camera, but you can't afford a GoPro, then I say, you know, go with the Dragon Touch 4K Ultra HD. This is the Vision 3, is what this one's called. They do still sell this camera. Of course, there is no image stabilization in this. I am shooting at 2K, 30 frames per second. I cannot shoot in 60 frames per second. But anyways, I wanted you to see the difference between now about a $300 camera as opposed to you can probably get these cameras now for about, I'd say about $50. That's tax and everything. And you cannot get this anywhere near water or moisture without having it in its waterproof case, which it comes with. It comes with a ton of accessories that goes with that, well, $50 tax included. So again, I still recommend this camera. Right here's the image quality, and it's not a good day to do video. It is, well, look at the sky. Now, what do you say we get back to finishing this video? Alright, we're going to do a real quick 360. There you can see the power up button. This is the main power on, power off. There you have your screen showing everything that's going right now. Notice the removable and replaceable lens cover. So the GoPro Hero 8 Black does not have a removable one. So that's why I say do not get a new GoPro. They're not worth it. And I mean, not much there. It's pretty much the same as it always was. This is your port for your USB and HDMI. This is a watertight camera. It will stay watertight up to 30 feet. First thing you're going to notice right away, it tells us information on, you know, what all is going on. We're shooting in 2.7K at 60 frames per second. I think the volume is on low. I think that's what the L stands for. We're going to go ahead and look at that. But the first button here, if you press it or touch it, I'm not 100% sure what that is. I'm going to have to get used to it. When I figure it out, I'll let you guys know. And touch this little icon here. That is video and looping. I'm going to be running it in video, so that's what I'm going to pick. This is going to allow us to change our video record settings. These are your main settings that you can change from 2.7 to 4K, 2.7, 1080p, and 720. And these are your frame rates. And we have 240, 120, 60, 30, and 24. The ones that are highlighted, 120 is as high as we can record. So I could record 2.7K in 120 frames per second. That's freaking awesome. I am going to keep it at 60 frames though. That's just where I like to record, because that kind of gives me, if I want to do slow-mo, I can shoot slow-mo there. If we go 4K, we can only shoot up to 30 frames per second. Oh no, we can shoot 60. You want to remember though, the image stabilization does not work in 60 frames per second. You have to be shooting in 30. Notice it says stabilization not supported. Now if we go down to 30 and 24, still stabilization not supported. Okay, 4K, no stabilization at all in 4K. Wow, okay. So let's go back to 60. And we're going to go back to 2.7K. That's what I like to shoot in. Basically, it's 2K, half of 4K. So if we go back, point of view, I'm shooting in linear. There's linear and wide, and then you have super view. I'm shooting in linear. That's just the way I like to shoot. I don't use an action camera for wide angle shots. So that's how I would have it set up for like vlogging. ProTune, it has ProTunes on. You can turn that on or off. I'm going to go ahead and leave it on. And then there's your ISO. Now notice I have the ISO minimum 100, maximum 1600, because it was very cloudy today, and even in the test footage, you'll notice I explain it there. The reason why I have it there is just because of that. I watched a lot of YouTube videos, and they all say to get the image stabilization to work, the hypersmooth stabilization to work right in low light or cloudy, you want to set your minimum at 100 and your maximum at 1600. Once you do that, your image stabilization works perfectly. Sharpness I have set at medium. You can go low and high if you want. Color, I always shoot flat. GoPro's just a little too punchy for me, but I know a lot of people that actually like the GoPro settings. Myself, I like the flat look. I think it looks better. Just again, it's all opinion. Now you do have the capability of shooting raw if you want, right there. I don't. I leave it off. And then you have your microphones. You have 5 microphones on here. I have it set to auto so that it uses the microphone it feels it should use. This does support using external microphones, but you better have that $55 part from GoPro that allows you to hook an external microphone to it. But as long as you have that, you can run an external microphone. And then last but not least is the ProTune settings. You can turn it on or turn it off with hitting it there. I mean, there's not a lot of settings in this, not like the other GoPros. This is for voice control. That's on. Now I'm turning it off. I recommend shutting it off. It does save on battery power. Oh, that's camera sleep on. Okay, I'm going to shut that off. Okay, I just turned the camera sleep off. This is, oh, that's quick capture. I do have quick capture on. I don't ever use it, but it's there if you want it. And then of course you have lock screen here. That locks everything so it doesn't move. That way if you bump the screen, you're not going to change your settings. Now if you hit preferences, this is going to take you into your settings. First up is your connections. This is your Wi-Fi, USB. You have a wireless connection. connect to device, and you can use GoPro app, voice remote. No, smart remote, and Bluetooth. So if you want to connect the Bluetooth device all the way at the bottom, but they do have Wi-Fi and Bluetooth settings there. Wi-Fi band, I have it set for 5 gigahertz. If you have problems connecting to Wi-Fi, drop down to 2.4 gigahertz and reboot your device. I've heard that it does help quite a bit. And then the bottom one is reset connections, and I'm going to cancel because I'm not going to reset anything. That's under connection. Then under general, you have your beep, default mode, and then auto power off, LEDs, video compression. You have your time, date format. That's under general. Okay, under voice control, you have your voice control on or off. I have it off. Then you have wake on voice, but that uses power because it's sitting there listening for your voice to power the device up, so that uses up battery. So I have it shut off. You can change your language, and then it has a list of commands here. These are all the different commands that you can give it to make it work. I'll try to crop in on this so you guys can see that a little bit better. Let's see, you have your touch display settings are next. Landscape lock, I have landscape lock off. You have your screensaver, it's set for 1 minute. And then your brightness, it's at 100% just because I'm doing a video. Regional, you have GPS, language, video format, and of course regulatory, whatever that is. Input output, HDMI output, and audio input. So if you have a microphone on here, right now it says NA, that's because there is no microphone hooked up to it. If I had a microphone hooked up to it, it would show it here, and it would allow me to go in here and adjust my settings. All GoPros are like that. Then about, you have GoPro update and camera info. And the first thing I did was hook this to my my app on my phone. So you want to try to keep all of your GoPros up to date. Then camera info here. And then last but not least is reset. I'm not going to hit that. That resets the phone back to factory. And it also wipes out any updates you may have put on the phone. So if you reset the phone, you're starting all over again. You're going to have to download any and all updates. So that is it for the internal settings. I already went over those quick settings there. The things on top here, I think just tell you where you're at. Quick capture's off. Quick capture on. Yeah, I'm not sure what these little buttons are or what these little highlights are. Guys, I have to learn this myself. But there you have it. Swipe up takes you back to the main screen again. If you want to record, just hit the button, start recording. Like that. When you're done, hit the button again. Now I also have voice commands on, so I could say GoPro start recording. Notice how it started recording. When you want to stop, GoPro stop recording. I mean, that's it, guys. That is it in a nutshell. There is not much to it. It's just like all the other GoPros out there. And I've said it in the past. I think the GoPro is the best action camera out now. There are some nice contenders. Osmo's making some really good ones now. The DJI Osmo has a really nice one. GoPro, the big GoPro is nice. Even the GoPro Hero 9, it's got some really nice features. But again, some features I don't like about it, like not having the standard GoPro mount. I don't like that. I also don't like that it is not the same dimensions as the other GoPros are, so all of your GoPro accessories will not work on the GoPro Hero 9. But the biggest reason that I will not get a GoPro Hero 9 is because you cannot replace your camera lens if you break it. You can't. It just won't. If you break it, hope like hell you have their replacement policy where if you scratch it or crack the lens, they'll replace. They will replace it for you because you can't do it yourself. that's a close-up look of the camera and its controls. What do you say we go ahead and jump back into the video? Okay, well, everybody, I appreciate you watching the video so far, and I hope you found it informative. I am not saying in any way, shape, or form that you should not go out and get one of the new GoPros. The GoPro 8, I think, is the brand new one. Yes, the GoPro 8 Black is the newest version of GoPro that they just released less than a month ago. And what really got me on this kick here to do this video was because of all the review videos I've seen out for the GoPro Hero 8 Black. Yeah, boy, man, is that a mouthful. So after doing the video and comparing, the GoPros that I have, I really don't see the need for me to go out and get a GoPro Hero 8 Black. I mean, it would have to have some massive upgrade for me to sell what I have in order for me to put a small down payment on that. And I just don't see that being frugal, for me to do. I don't see it. I will say one thing though, the GoPro Hero 7 Black, I think was the best thing GoPro did. I really wish that they would implement the things that made this camera so phenomenal, and the 6 and the 5, into the GoPro Hero 8. I mean, that's why people like GoPro. Because it fits all their stuff. They're used to it. It's familiar. Don't update it to the point where everything that you have, especially if you are heavily vested in GoPro, changes. You changed everything about GoPro that used to work with everything about GoPro. I could not, at this point, honestly recommend for any of you to go out and get the GoPro Hero 9 Black. At least at this point in time. That's what was so nice about GoPro. They would update everything in their line, in their camera, but keep it in the same form factor, which is what made this camera so popular. Well, everybody, I hope you liked the video, and I'm sorry if it went long, but you know how I am. I like to be thorough with my videos. Remember, I'm going to be having a giveaway here in about a week, so be looking for that. And actually, I'm using the light right now. We are going to be giving away this, some people call it a beauty light. I call it a vlogging light because it goes right over your phone. Watch that video. It'll explain the whole thing. I am going to be giving it away next week, so if you're interested in that, be looking for that video. And if you found anything in this video to be helpful, please think about subscribing or even hitting that like button. And remember, if you have any questions at all, post them below. If I can answer them, I'm going to. And if I can't, we have enough people in this little community of mine that your question will get answered somehow. And if nobody answers it and I can't come up with the answer, I'll do the searches and I'll find the answer for you. That's why I started this channel, so I could help those of you that are like-minded and love tech. Okay, I just want to thank you all again for watching, and I will see you all on the next one. That's a wrap. Nothing screwed up this time.